Hello everybody. Getting the stream going here. I'm just finishing up my warm-up right now. Just a couple of short sprints, and then I'll take 5 or 6 minutes of recovery and then get into the ramp test. This is going to be a good one. The legs are feeling good so far. I also got I got the ringlet set up for the stream, so it should look a lot better. There we go. Not riding in the dark anymore. Starting to get warm in here. Or maybe that's just my pre-workout. I think it's just the pre-workout coming through. I got the Cyclist Special. The creatine, beta-alanine, bicarb. I got it all at once. Hopefully it works today. Thank you, Zachary. I appreciate it. Got the Formula 369 for the ride today. Really enjoying that as my fuel. And my ramp record, the last time I did this test, I made it a few seconds into the 540 watt step, which gave me an FTP of 394 watts. So today the goal is to go past that, to get to an FTP of 400. So I think I have to make it at least 30 or 40 more seconds. So we'll see. That's the goal of the day. I know it's possible. Just gonna need to dig deep. 420. I wish, that'd be great. I think I'd have to go another minute and a half compared to where I went last time, which would be a crazy improvement. It'd be great, but we'll see. We shall see. So just finishing the warm-up now. I have 2 10-second accelerations, high cadence, and then after that, I'll spin back down to the bottom of this climb, 5-minute recovery, and then I'll get straight into the ramp test. These warm-ups are really important, especially for me. That felt pretty good. Pretty normal for an acceleration, high cadence sprint. I'll do the next one out of the saddle, activate those standing muscles. Good luck, Nick. I love the TTTs. I haven't done one in a while, but with Zwift Racing League coming back in a couple of weeks, I think it's only 2 or 3 weeks from now, 2.5, I'll be getting back into the TTTs on Zwift. Always enjoy those. Here we go, last sprint for the warm-up. That felt good. The legs are feeling good so far. to the end of this blue section right here, and then I'll flip it. Zachary, to answer your question, I would say the FTP test that you should do is whatever test you would like to repeat over time. So if you're fine with doing a 20-minute test a couple times a year, even just once or twice a year, I mean, you don't need to retest your FTP all the time. But whatever test you're able to repeat, I would say, for me, the ramp test is much more repeatable. So I like doing it once every couple of months, track my progress. All right, let's flip it. Go back to the bottom of this climb. And then in 2 minutes, we're going to start the ramp test in 2 minutes. So just letting the heart rate come down right now, letting my body adjust to the effort and everything. I did quite a bit of high intensity. You can see on the left side of the screen, I skipped a few of the intervals just to make it a little bit shorter of a warm-up, but I also ran a couple miles this morning, so sometimes I use that as a little leg opener. Nice, Milan. I'm glad you're enjoying the juice. Definitely my favorite trainer. It's quite different. It's amazing how different the trainers can feel. The really high spec to high end, they have many of the same metrics, they measure the same thing, they're designed for the same thing, workouts and races, high power output. But still the feeling can be completely different from one trainer to the next. Nice one, Levi. 380 for 20. That is huge power. Nicola, to answer your question, it's one of those things that I think it's a good general rule for like the general cyclist to stay seated for most power testing, because most cyclists are going to ride indoors and outdoors. So you don't want to only train out of the saddle on the trainer. So that, I think that's why it probably encourages you to sit down for the power test, so that you can apply that same FTP outdoors. Because for a lot of riders, myself included, you can do more power out of the saddle on the indoor trainer. So if you take that FTP and you go outside, all of a sudden you lose 30 watts. Your training's going to be all off. Your zone 2 is going to be off. Your zone 3 is going to be off. Your VO2 max intervals are going to be way too hard if you try to do them seated outside. So I think it just makes it more consistent. I think that's probably the reason. There's probably other reasons as well, so that's probably the main one. All right, there's the quick warm-up. Average of 219 for 22 minutes. Sometimes I do a more thorough warm-up, but today, just a quick one. The legs are feeling good, so I'm ready to get into the ramp test now. Yeah, the Vanderpool highlights are great during these rides like this. Honestly, I'll probably have myself on the screen in front of me. That's usually really motivating for me, because it like takes me outside my own head, my own suffering. So I just see myself on the screen, I'm just like, push harder. It doesn't look that hard, just push harder. Just go like 30 more seconds. So, we'll see. But yeah, before I start the ramp test, I am raising money for the American Cancer Society. You can see that on the bottom banner on the screen. I'm doing a gravel race in next month, actually, Barron-Roubaix, and I'm raising money for the American Cancer Society. So there's a link at the top of the description. If you would like to donate, feel free. If you don't feel the need, then that's totally fine. Just trying to raise awareness for that. Something really important to me, and I really enjoy raising money for a cause like that, especially when it's like associated with a bike race, an event like that. People staying active and being healthy, and it's really important to me. So if you could just follow the link and you can see the donation bar there. And I appreciate anything, even if it's just $1. So thank you. So now we'll get into the ramp test. And yeah, thank you, Levi. I tell myself the same thing. Just pedal faster. Just do more power. It's not that hard, just like do more. It's so much easier said than done. I know the feeling. Alright, so let's get into the ramp test. Should be in the... So if you're ever wondering how to find the Zwift workouts during a ride, you can actually do this without going back to the home screen, which is really nice. So you can be mid-ride, your avatar doesn't pause or anything, just keep riding as long as you keep pedaling. When you go to workouts, and then you can find whatever workouts you need in here. There's the training plans as well. So today, maybe FTP tests. I want to make sure I pick the right one as well, because I have a couple different tests in here. I think I've maybe copied and pasted some workouts before, so I'll do this FTP ramp test. I think the final one, yeah, 640 watts. Maybe one day I can try to complete the ramp test. That'd be a fun video to make. I only need to gain like 100 watts on my FTP. So then just click workout and then it's just loaded straight in there. Pretty sweet. So then for this, for my motivation, I always like doing these on a climb. So I'll go back to the climb portal, and then it should last about 20 to 25 minutes from now, I think. So it should take me most of the way up the climb without finishing it completely. So this first part of the ramp test is just, at this point I'm basically recovering from my warm-up. Just a few minutes of free ride, and then the first like 10 minutes of this test are about under 200 watts, so it's like my zone 1, my zone 0. So it's just like super easy pedaling, easy recovery. Trying to get the ball down. Struggling. There we go. Today I have just the straight carb mix of Formula 369. I had a bunch of caffeine this morning, so I didn't want to overdo it riding at noon. I thought about it, but not today. I was already feeling a little jittery after breakfast this morning. Probably just nervous too. Alright, time to get the secret music playlist loaded up. It's a very niche playlist. Some would call it scary. But for me, it's the ultimate motivation. I'm not going to do it today seated. I'll do probably seated up to about the 400 watt mark. That's what I usually like to do. It's kind of like a good pacing marker for me. And then after the 400 watts, That's probably about where my FTP is, so then I'll get out of the saddle after that and see how long I can make it. It's usually, sometimes I go in and out of the saddle, but during a test like this on erg mode, it's going to be most accurate on erg mode typically. So I'll keep it either standing or sitting for like long stretches of time rather than going back and forth. In a race, or like when I race outdoors, I'll go in between standing and sitting all the time. The song that never ends. It does feel like that during this effort. Just keep on going. It's a great question about the accuracy of FTP. Completely depends on who you ask. To me, FTP is the most power that you can do for an hour. So if I can do more power out of the saddle, I'm going to do the FTP test out of the saddle because I can actually do that power. So if you change the definition around, I mean, it kind of is what you make it. So I would say it doesn't really matter a whole lot. You have to apply it to your goals. That's the important part. So if you're training for outdoor racing, especially like time trialing or racing crits or racing flat races, you're going to want to stay seated because you're going to be doing all that power outside. If you're only racing indoors, you can do it out of the saddle. It doesn't matter because there's no penalty of being out of the saddle. Yeah, I completely agree, Levi. If you can do power standing, it still counts. A couple more minutes until I'll get up to zone 2 power, but for now it's just like super easy spinning. Yeah, that's true. As long as the power counts, doesn't matter to me. Alright, time to put the phone down. I'll start focusing a bit more now. I would say, I don't know if there's a benefit to using erg mode. There's pros and cons. So without erg mode, it's going to feel more realistic, more like riding outside, better responsiveness in the trainer and everything, and the shifting. So with erg mode, you don't even have to think about the shifting. You just pedal, just focus on pushing on the pedals. So mentally, for me, on erg mode, it's a little bit easier. But it took some time to get used to as well. That's a great question. So most of my workouts on the indoor trainer, if it's above zone 4, like threshold or VO2 max intervals, I'll typically do them out of the saddle on the trainer. So outside, I'll mostly focus on the effort rather than purely on the power numbers. On the trainer, it's all the power numbers, so I kind of just adjust it on the fly. I have a good amount of experience riding outside, so I have that as well. Yeah, Levi, that's so true. On erg mode, like, once you drop below 60 RPM, 50 or 60 RPM, for me at least, there's no recovery from that. Milan, that's a great question. I don't know. I really don't know, truly. So, it's all about the journey to me. If and when I get there one day, it'll be quite the celebration. But I'm looking forward to enjoying the journey along the way, because I think that's just as important, if not more important. My fan's not on for some reason. There we go, fan's on now. I think the shipping's okay. Chain slipped a little bit there. Just because I suddenly coasted and then got right back into it. Connor, it's a great question, I would say. I'm not sure, actually. I mean, I want the result to say 450 watt FTP, but at the same time, like, it's all training, it's all the process. So it's kind of both. All right, power's over 200 watts now. Time to focus a little bit more. Yeah, that's a great point with erg mode, is that there's not those micro recoveries. I feel like erg mode is a little bit harder than free riding. So for me, if I'm training on erg mode, if the train's a little bit harder, that's okay. If I'm not hitting my best numbers in training, I'd rather the race be a little bit easier, the training be a little bit harder, rather than the other way around. I did rest yesterday. That's a great point. Took a day off, did some yoga for an hour, which always helps, makes me feel really good. And then a quick run this morning, like 20-25 minutes, kind of open up the legs, and then warm up, and then jumping into the test. The goal today is 400 watt FTP. So to get there, I think I need to make it to the 560 watt step of the ramp test. So we'll see. Last time I made it a few seconds into the 540 watt step. So the goal is about a minute farther today. These instructions are always funny to me. I think they should have like a, I would love to have a Zwift, like an elite ramp test, where it's like, it knows your FTP is over 300, so the instructions more line up with that. I wouldn't say I tapered for this. I definitely like took a rest day yesterday just to relax a little bit, but it's a pretty normal training week. I still did VO2 max intervals on Tuesday and then a race on Sunday. So it's not a huge taper or anything like that. And yes, Nick, I will stand for the final. Probably when I get over 400 watts, somewhere around there. Getting into mid zone 2, high zone 2, close to 300 watts. I have no idea what my weekly TSS is off the top of my head. I train about 10 to 12 hours a week, so maybe 600, 700, somewhere around there for TSS. That's a great question, Nick. If I was riding zone 1, I'd answer it again. But if you rewind like 5 minutes, I talked about standing versus sitting. Gotta focus a bit more now. Getting close to 300 watts. Thank you. I appreciate it. Trying to keep the cadence around 90 right now. He could probably finish this thing, to be honest, or at least he would get close. There we go. Looks like the stream fixed itself. Yes, that's correct. I'm 29, and I've been riding for 13 years. Getting close to half my life now. Getting up to 400 watts now. There we go. Oh, so close, so close. Oh. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for watching. This ride is part of a fundraiser that I'm doing for the American Cancer Society. The link is at the top of the description. And if you can donate just $1, I'd appreciate it. It's a really important cause to me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. That was so hard. I went so deep. That 5-minute power must have been almost 490. Let's see. .484. The 10-minute was probably around 430 watts. I did not feel great today, but I still beat my record. So I'm super happy about that, because this last month has been crazy. Lots of life stress. We moved, had to move everything to a house, and it's been so busy and so stressful. I haven't been sleeping as much as I want, but at the end of the day, like, it's life. You have to deal with it and then move on, and I've been doing my best to do that every day. Almost 400, 398. I can't be unhappy with that. It's the best I've ever done. I've never officially had an FTP of 400 in a test or in an effort, so really happy with that. I think I'll flip it for the cool down. The heart rate came down pretty quick. I think, despite my feeling not being amazing, I did pretty well. Like, my heart rate was holding low 180s, and if I'm too fatigued, I know I can't hold it there. My left leg was cramping at the end. In the last 10 seconds was like, just turn off the brain and just pedal with everything that my legs had left. That was good. My left shin is sore right now. I think I used some muscles that I haven't used in a long time. To that workout note right there, do not do a ramp test weekly. That's a bad idea. Number one, it'll hurt like crazy. Number two, I doubt you would see any meaningful progress from week to week. You'd probably see it after 3 or 4 weeks. Oh, this is my favorite song coming up on this playlist right here. I should have timed that better. Let me make a note for next time. 26 minutes in. Oh, my left leg is so sore. I don't even know if I can ride zone 2 after this. I think I need 20 minutes at like 100 watts. That's true, I definitely did. Thank you, Ludo. Nice job in the UK Championships. I'm pretty sure that was you. That was awesome. Man, this is a long cool down. My left hamstring is like, I can feel it cramping. These are the efforts that I have to do more of to get used to SRC, because in SRC, you'll do an effort like that, max, all out, 5 minutes, but you're only 10 or 20% of the way through the race. So then, immediately after that effort, you have to recover at like 300 watts. And then you go right back into attacks and racing and 30, 30, 40, 20s at 500. It's just like no time to recover. Almost on this cool down here. And then I'll look at the peak power numbers for that effort. Thank you. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I love the comments and questions. They keep me both distracted and motivated. see the stats for that effort. That heart rate was crazy. I was just like holding low 180s. Usually in a race, my max would be 181, 182. I was just holding that for the last few minutes. Is that best all time for? That is. I think that, yeah, that is my best all time for 8 minutes. 4:54. Super happy with that. 7 minutes at 4:60. Close to my best for 6 or 7 minutes. 5 minutes at 4:85. 3.5 minutes at 500. Yeah, that was a great effort. Yeah, you can see the effort really starts like in the last 12 minutes. I go over threshold, over 400, and then it's basically close to my all-time PR power. All-time for 8 minutes. Super good, super happy with that. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. I'll be back in another month or two probably for another ramp test. In the meantime, lots of races, lots of training, VO2 max training, SOC on Sundays. Got some gravel racing coming up, so that stuff will be more on like my Instagram. We'll make some shorts about it as well. So thanks for watching.